After a scrappy start, we came into the game and saw off Hemel and started the run to the semi-final, including a win away at Workington Town. This result will go down as one of the best results in the club's short history. We sadly missed out on a place in the final and a big day out at the Summer Bash, losing to North Wales Crusaders. In the Challenge Cup, we had a good start defeating the North Wales Crusaders in the third round, but we lost to Doncaster away in the fourth round. On to the league campaign, which started on a wet afternoon in South Leeds, losing to Hunslet in a very tight game. Thoughts after the game were that we could challenge a few of the Heartland clubs this coming season. And how that came true on probably one of the most famous performances, beating Keighley 46-22. With the score at 20-all, we kicked on, including one of the best tries I've seen from a prop forward. Harrison Elliott started a run from 40 metres out, just swatting people out of his way to score. We had to wait until Good Friday for our next victory, dodging a bullet as we did our best to try and lose against South Wales. We followed this victory up by beating the side from North Wales with another great performance. A win on the road against Coventry was followed by a couple of heavy defeats against Newcastle and Whitehaven. Then there was another trip to Hemel. On a hot afternoon, we got back to winning ways. A Derby Day win over Oxford was our last before the split, as we had lost the final 3 games against Barrow, Toronto and Doncaster. So we went into the League One Shield with the hope of achieving a place in the Shield final. This was soon knocked back with a shock defeat away to South Wales in the opening round. 2 wins in a row, starting with a third victory over the North Wales and an amazing comeback win over Coventry. In the Coventry game, we were 18 points to 0 down at half-time, but with the second half to remember, a dream of a place in the Shield final was still on. This was soon dashed as 3 defeats against Hunslet, Oxford and London Scholars, leaving a last game win over Hemel, restoring some pride. All in all, it was a very positive season compared to 2016, with a semi-final and the most wins in the club's history. In regards to 2018, it's not looking very good, which is a massive shame. However, there are some players to look out for in the coming season. Harry Kidd, a fearless young prop who has moved to Halifax. Billy Brickle, who is signed for Rochdale, who got our Supporters Player of the Season. Mo Agoro, a strong and pacey winger who knows his way to the try line, scoring 20 tries in 27 games this season, who's moved to Newcastle Thunder. Then there is Steve Parry, the Welsh international hooker, who has been picked to play at the World Cup this year. He won the Your Goals Man of Steel and finished the club's top scorer with 23 tries in 27 games. So there you are, lads. Thanks very much for everything you do, and we hope to see you soon. Bye.
Okay, thank you, Al. Another member of the Ultras got in touch with us as well, though. Lee Randall said that it was a progressive season for the All Golds, with some impressive wins over Keighley, Workington, and 3 times over North Wales Crusaders. Sorry about Butler. A League One Cup semi-final to add to the list. Didn't finish the season with a League One Shield's final spot. Was a bit disappointing, but overall a good season. Proved this by a few players moving to Championship clubs.
Look, people have jumped on that squad and taking some of the great players out there. They've got a couple of players going to the World Cup as well. It can't be forgotten. They had the hooker Parry was one of the most impressive performers against the Wolfpack that I saw from an opposition side this year. I think we saw a bit more of the All Goals because they had the students filming a few of the games, didn't they? So we got to see a bit of the highlights of that sort of stuff on YouTube, and obviously we had the boys getting in touch regularly, so we knew what was going on. It seemed like an exciting season. I just hope that whatever they get sorted out for a different club next year, whatever it is, they make sure they don't piss off these guys.
Yeah. Because this is the foundation, isn't it?
Yeah.
These lads are prepared to travel. They've shown
they will drive to Bristol if they have to watch their team. That's not
Some of them don't even need to ask their wives permission. Amazing. Just walk out the door without even telling them where they're going.
Leigh should
see you later.
Leigh should rock up at these events with a cape. Honestly.
That's it. Thumb man, let's call him that. So but the thing is, there is a small but committed following at that club, and it would be foolish of any new endeavour not to try and capitalise on that and keep those guys included. And I really, really hope that they are allowed to do that, and that also their head coach comes and works at Bradford Bulls. So, teams with their fan reviews. Mark, we have a few. Obviously, we don't get listeners from all the way down the leagues, but shall we have a quick run through all the other sides?
Yeah, let's rattle through them. Obviously, we'll do it in order of where they finished in the league, missing out the ones we've already just spoke about. So Hull KR, they were first in the Championship, third in the qualifiers, promoted. It's what you expected, slightly better than what I expected.
There you go. But it was performance of around about where we thought they would be.
They were always going to be top of the Championship. If they weren't top of the Championship, it was a shit year.
Yeah, absolutely. But they kicked on and they did very, very well in the middle eights and beat Super League teams to earn their spot back there for 2018. And that's what I anticipated they would do.
Yeah.
Very well-run club.
I think they have to step up a lot in a lot of ways.
Massively so.
I don't think the
signings they're making now aren't going to push them outside the middle eights next year, but I think they'll be safe in Super League.
Any of the wins that I saw of theirs were not emphatic, but they were involved in one of the most enjoyable game experiences this season for me. That Summer Bash game against Bradford Bulls was phenomenal. Callie was still reminiscing fondly about that, wasn't she? In her part of the review from the Daydins.
Yes, well, it was a great fun day, wasn't it? And it was a great atmosphere at the Bradford.
But well done to Hull KR.
Yeah, bravo indeed. Featherstone Rovers then finished 4th in the Championship and 7th in the qualifiers, which again is about what we would expect of them.
I think, they did, if anything, slightly better than I was anticipating. Helped a lot by a club we're going to talk about in a couple of clubs' times, losing some key players to injury.
Yeah.
But
changing coach midway through the season.
Yeah, they stuck at it and then started to look to play a different style of rugby, which might make them a more enjoyable enterprise next year. Their attendances stay strong, their core stays strong, they have a good output from the club in terms of, the media output and stuff like that. So, there's lots of good stuff about Featherstone.
There is indeed. Halifax Blue Sox finished 3rd in the Championship and ultimately 8th in the qualifiers.
Yeah, I mean, Chester Butler in the Wales squad.
Butler.
What a story that has turned out to be. But also,
did he know it was Welsh, or did someone have to tell him?
No,
he discovered who his grandfather was. Didn't he?
That's it. He knew.
All right,
but he didn't really. He obviously didn't think about getting a place in the side.
Yeah,
because it was his agent who had to say, "Hold on, you can play for these." Yeah. After not really believing him who his granddad was.
There you go.
It's like, if he's your granddad, and you've got proof now to show who he is.
Why are you not playing for Wales?
I'm not having it, Mr. Aryan. But
there's a generation between when he could have.
But there was other good performers. They were kind of like the Nearly team in the qualifiers in terms of they had some standout performers, but they didn't ever put it all together.
Yeah,
and I just think that's the thing with Halifax. They're never going to quite take that step unless someone can get in and invest a bit more to make sure they have a bit more depth in those key positions.
Yeah.
Because they have quality, they have entertaining ability, they just lack depth at all to compete with the full-time Championship sides.
There you go. Toulouse Olympique finished 5th in the Championship and remained roughly in that spot, winning the Championship Shield.
Yeah, it was a disappointing finish. Do you agree?
I think Toulouse would have had ambitions of being in the middle eights, Mark, to be honest with you, at the start of the season. So, yeah, disappointing all round, I would say.
They will not be letting Jonathan Ford go and play for Cook Islands.
No, certainly not. Certainly not.
But they've recruited for next year.
Right.
Haven't they? It looks like some of the players who've left some of the clubs like Anthony Maria and William Bartow might be donning Olympique jerseys next year, which will push them forward.
Yeah, definitely so. Definitely so. The Championship's shaping up to be a very strong comp next year. And Batley Bulldogs will be in that. They finished 6th.
Of course, Sam Mower's another signing they've got for next year.
Have they signed Sam Mower?
I mean, Paul might not have rated him at Huddersfield, but come on. That's a great signing for the Championship.
Who's Sam Mower?
Not Sam Mower. Sam Rapira.
Sam Rapira, yes, that's what I was going to say. Okay, sorry. Batley Bulldogs, 6th in the Championship, 2nd in the Championship Shield. Decent, steady away season for Batley Bulldogs in the first year of Matt Diskin's charge.
Yeah, and I probably expected them to drop down a little bit from where they were at last year. Obviously, they made the qualifiers last year. That was a huge, impressive surprise.
Yeah.
I think where they finished this year was about right.
Yeah, absolutely. Another team that were about right in where they finished with the Sheffield Eagles, Mark. Now, the future's looking bright for them.
Brighter, yeah.
Brighter. than it were. Although they're going to go through a fairly high turnover of players again in the off-season. So
but it'll be nice for them to be back in the city of Sheffield. They can hopefully develop a fan base again.
Yeah. Dewsbury Rams finished 8th in the Championship, having had to make a coaching change halfway through the season with Glenn Morrison departing, and ultimately finishing 4th in the Championship Shield.
Yeah, they were the worst team to watch for the first half of the year. Yeah. But that awful win that they scratched to at the Summer Bash kind of, combined with the change in the coaching setup, which worked well for them, kind of served as a catalyst. They were able to get a few more creative players into the side and actually finished the season really well. So you've got to credit the turnaround, because they looked certainties to be joining the Bulls in the League One, didn't they?
Well, Rochdale Hornets, Mark, were having their first season in the Championship out of League One and finished a respectable 9th and then 5th in the Championship Shield.
Do you remember the start of the year when everyone was falling over themselves and you were like, it's a load of rubbish, they're going to do rubbish?
Yeah.
And they did okay.
They did alright.
They did okay.
Yeah, fair play to them.
Yeah, they'll be happy with where they finished. Finishing above these next two clubs will have meant something to them.
Of course it will. Well, Swinton Lions finished 10th in the Championship and 6th in the Shield, and more importantly, survived the season.
Yeah, massive thing for Swinton to stay in the Championship. It means that they don't fall massively off the face of things. They could have gone this year. They really were that close. So, and I actually enjoy the club. I like the atmosphere down there.
It seems to be a bit of a fun.
I like the fans. I don't like that the bar seems to move to a different place every time I rock up. But I like the fans. I like the way they play. You know, they try to play attacking, ball spreading, runners hitting lines, rugby league. Yeah. So it's good, and you know, I get to see a lot of Wigan old boys there. Big fan of Swinton. I'm glad that they ended up where they were this season. I think they actually performed a little bit better than where they finished, but didn't quite always have it in the physical elements of the game sometimes.
Makes sense. Okay, relegated side Oldham finished 11th and then 7th in the Championship Shield. Perhaps not massively surprising.
No, they really just couldn't get a win in the second half of the year. It was bad for them. Bad finish to things.
Well, speaking of teams that had a bad year, Bradford Bulls deducted a ton of points at the start of the season, not allowed to take their place in League One as they probably should have been. Finished 12th in the Championship and then 8th in the Championship Shield.
Yeah, our old friend Dominic Barker got in touch. He said, long and arduous season. Thank God it's over. Roll on. 2018 in League One. Look, you won quite a lot of games.
We did.
Especially after you were relegated.
It was Easter that did it for us. We lost a load of players that we had in on loan, and I think that's something that they need to learn a lesson from.
Well, you needed that, though, because it fell apart. There was no club, was there?
Yeah, exactly.
This time last year, we're moving towards no club. We had to have a special episode about how they've gone.
Regardless of what happens, we're not doing that ever again. That was horrific. That was my least favourite episode of the Super League pod. Whitehaven down in League One finished 2nd overall and 3rd in the Super 8s, Mark, and desperatly unlucky to not get promoted.
Yeah, I didn't see any of them. They did okay.
They did alright.
In the games I saw against the Wolfpack.
There you go, that's it. Barrow will take their place in the Championship next season, having finished 3rd in League One, 2nd overall, and then winning the promotion final.
Yeah, look, these two sides played a lot of games against each other this year, and most of them were quite exciting, but Barrow did edge that head-to-head.
Yeah.
And to draw a big crowd for the promotion final, I hope that'll roll over to next year. They definitely had a setup that was supposed to get promoted.
Yeah.
I'm not too impressed with the way they reacted to some setbacks or adversity or challenges or what may be. They probably thought they should have had Bradford in the division and they should have just walked through this division this year and not had to face the Toronto Wolfpack. And maybe next year, if they attack it with a refreshed, positive attitude in the Championship, they can have a good year.
Hopefully so. Shall we bash through the rest of the League One sides and then start talking about the World Cup shows?
I don't have anything to say really about York other than they were the one side that beat the Wolfpack.
There you go.
So well done to them.
Yeah, Doncaster were 5th in League One and then 6th in the Super 8.
They went backwards, which is a shame for them, and not great start for Richard Horne in terms of his coaching career. Yeah. But we heard a lot about them. They give a job to our mate Ethan.
They did, yeah, absolutely. Newcastle Thunder then 6th overall and then 5th in the Super 8s. They continue that steady existence, don't they, up in Newcastle?
Yeah, and they manage the turnover of players relatively well. We've already seen them sign on some of the better performers, make some good signings for next year, and they did that before this year. I think they just signed a few, but they manage it quite well so that they've got strike weapons, they've got try scorers, they've got some quick players, and they've got some players who are willing to biff it up, who care about the club in the pack as well.